Welcome. In this video, we are discussing about VLSI circuits and we are discussing master slave flip flop. So as you can see, this is the master slave flip flop and it is obtained by cascading two oppositely phased D latches. So as you can see, on the left hand side we have the master section and on the right hand side we have the slave section, and these are two oppositely phased. So we are using phi as the clock. So phi is the clock signal. So here you can see in this section, for this is a NMOS transistor M2, M1, M2, M3 and M4 are NMOS transistors. So for M2 in this section we are applying clock phi, and here we are applying clock phi bar. Then here we are applying clock phi, but here we are applying clock phi bar. So these two are opposite in phase. Similarly, these two are also opposite in phase. So we can see that the master slave flip flop is obtained by cascading this section and this section. They are very similar. You can see their structure is similar, only they are oppositely phased. So phi is the clock and phi bar is the opposite clock. So phi and phi bar are non-overlapping clock signal. This is phi, this is phi bar. This is phi, this is phi bar. They are non-overlapping clock signal. So phi bar is applied to the gate of this NMOS. Phi is applied to the gate of this NMOS. Phi is applied to the gate of this NMOS, and phi bar is applied to the gate of this NMOS. So the clock signal phi is used to control the operation and provide the synchronization. The clock signal phi here is used to control the operation and provide the synchronization. So you can see this is the diagram. So we have the clock signal phi. So when it is 0, then the master will be loaded with the input data bit, and when it goes to 1 after a positive edge, then the data bit is transferred to the slave. So there are two states. When clock signal phi is 0, then the loading of the input data bit to the master happens, and when phi goes to 1, then that data bit is transferred to the slave. So this is an inverter, this is an inverter, this is an inverter, this is an inverter. So these are CMOS inverters designed using PMOS and NMOS. So when phi equal to 0, in the first state, when phi equal to 0, when phi is equal to 0, so as you can see, this is phi, this is phi bar. So when phi equal to 0, then this M1 will be closed. M1 will act as a closed switch. The transistor M1 will act as a closed switch, and similarly in this time M2 and M3 are acting as open. M2 is open and M3 is also open. M2 comma M3 are open during this phase. So this is closed. So what will happen is, and this M2 is open, so this data bit will be transferred here. The data bit will be transferred here, and it will be D bar, because there is one inverter here. So this D will be transferred here to the slave. So during this time, the M1 will act as a closed switch, and the data bit will be transferred to the input of the slave section. This is a master section, this is a slave section. So during this time, what happens is that the data bit is transferred. So the latch allows the master latch allows the input. So it is allowing the input. Then in the next state, when the clock signal makes a transition to 1. So in the second state, the phi makes a transition from 0 to 1. That is, a positive edge has occurred. The positive edge has occurred. So during this time, M2 and M3 will be closed. M2 comma M3 will be closed. whereas M1 will be open in this time. So these two transistors M2 and M3 will be closed. M1 will be open during this time because both M2 and M3 are applied with phi. So phi goes to 1, M2 and M3 will be closed during this time. So the input to the master will be blocked. So this data bit will be blocked because the M1 is open. So there is no input to the master. So what will happen is that this is now closed. This is now closed. So Q will be equal to D. Q will be equal to D. The Q input will be equal to D after in this state. So suppose this bit was latched into the slave at time t1. So after how much time it will appear at the output? Say it was latched here at t1. So then it has to travel through this transistor and through this inverter. So to this transistors and to this inverter. So the total time at which this bit will appear here will be equal to t1 plus TFET plus T naught. So if this bit was latched here at time t1, then it will appear at the output at this time t1 plus TFET plus T naught, because it has to travel from here to through this FET, then through this NOT gate. So this will be the total time at which this bit will appear at the output. So this is the simple explanation of this circuit. So when phi equal to 1, it will appear at the output. So this is a simple positive edge triggered flip flop, because the transfer to the slave happens at the positive edge of the clock. So this is the symbol of the positive edge triggered clock, and if we have to convert it to a negative edge triggered flip flop, we simply have to change the phi bar to phi and phi to phi bar. So for negative edge triggered flip flop, this will become phi, this will become phi bar, this will become phi bar, and this will become phi. Just interchange phi and phi bar, then it will become the negative edge triggered flip flop. So this is the basics operation of a master slave flip flop using CMOS circuits. Thank you. This is the circuit of master slave flip flop with controlled loading. So the loading process will be controlled through a modified control signal phi bar dot load. So as you can see, the signal, clock signal phi bar and the load signal is applied to a AND gate. So we are generating a modified controlled signal phi bar dot load, and this phi bar dot load is applied to this input FET M1. So this is the input FET M1, and this modified control signal phi bar dot load is applied to this input FET. The rest of the circuit is same. So let us understand how this circuit operates, or how the operation is done. So first condition is load with phi equal to 0 and load equal to 1. So when load is equal to 1 and phi equal to 0, then the signal at the input of this FET, at the gate of this NMOS, will be equal to 1. So it allows, so the loading state is allowed only when both phi bar and load give a value of 1. Okay, so this load condition is shown in this figure. So when phi equal to 0 and load equal to 1, then this will be 1. So in this case, the circuit will perform identical to the operation of the original circuit, because this is 1. So this loading will be happening. Now the value of this D input will establish the voltage V in at the master circuit. So as you can see, this is a master circuit, this is a slave circuit. So the value of the D input will establish the voltage V in at the input of the master. Also this will decide the state of the charge of this capacitor CS. So the if it is logic, if D input is at logic low, then V in will be 0, and if D input is at logic high, then V in will be a high value. Okay, so now there are two possible conditions for data hold state. So either hold will happen with phi equal to 1 and load equal to 0, or hold will happen with phi equal to 0 and load equal to 0. So obviously in both these cases load will be equal to 0, and phi can be equal to 0 and phi can be equal to 1. So when load is equal to 0, then obviously this M1 will be open circuit. This M1 will be open circuit. But this transistor will be closed circuit, and this NMOS will be open circuit. So as you can see, this is a closed loop, this is open. Again, this transistor will be closed because here also phi is applied and phi is applied, and in this case phi equal to 1. So this transistor will also be closed circuit. So as you can see, in this case the master feedback loop, this is the master circuit, the feedback loop of the master is closed, whereas the feedback loop of the slave is open in this case. So the master latch will hold the value of data bit and also apply it to the output. So if suppose this was D, then output Q will be equal to D, because there are two inverters. So the master will hold the value of the D through this capacitor Cs, and it will also provide the output at Q in this state. So because the master feedback loop is closed, so both the input is transferred to the slave also and to the output also. Now the third is the third state, when hold is with phi equal to 0. So as you can see, in this case this transistor will be open and this transistor will also be open. So this transistor will be open, this transistor will be open, and this transistor will be closed. So the master loop is open in this case. Also this is open, so slave is cut off from the master. So what will happen is that the storage of the data is achieved by the charge stored on this capacitor. So obviously the charge stored will decay with time. The charge on the capacitor will decay with time. So this is subjected to charge leakage effect. So it is also called as quasi-dynamic circuits, because the master loop is open. So the charge is stored by storing the charge on the capacitor. So it is subjected to charge leakage effects also. So the storage is achieved by holding the charge on the capacitor Cs. Also the slave loop is closed in this. The slave loop is closed. So a voltage Va will be established in this due to this closed feedback loop. A voltage Va will be established due to this closed feedback loop of the slave. So the voltage Va will be established. So when the clock returns back to phi equal to 1, then this state will be restored. So when the clock returns to phi equal to 1, then the circuit of figure B will again be restored. So in this way the master slave flip flop can be modified with controlled loading. So the loading will happen only when both phi bar and load will give a value of 1. So thank you. I hope you got the concept of this master slave flip flop and also with controlled loading. So thank you. Please like and share the video and subscribe the channel. And also this is the wiring diagram of this circuit. So thank you and best of luck. And if you have any doubt, you can post your comment in the feedback in the comment box. Thank you.